hear me? Is anybody here? Maybe. I'm trying to make this work. Hey, Sharonda. Everybody's muted. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me? Maybe it's my speakers. Volume?
I hear you.
Okay, good.
My unmute button real fast, like, oh my gosh, she looked like she's going into panic mode.
Did you tell? You know me too well. Shh. My dog thinks there's strangers in my house. Shh. Hush. It's just Sharonda. She loves you. I promise.
I do.
I had to download Zoom on my desktop because my laptop webcam is like not working for some reason.
How have you been?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
You know this teaching stuff makes me nervous, right? I'm a fidgety mess.
Well, look, I just hopped out the shower. I'm trying to hurry up and put my clothes on, and I'll put my camera on.
Okay.
I'm like, ooh, let me make sure I'm not exposing myself.
Not trying to scare people, right?
For real.
Hi, Lydia. I don't know who iPhone 11 is, but hello. I got another iPhone 11. You guys need to name yourself.
Mine's in the mail. It'll be showing up this week.
Lydia says hi. Well, I made a list of what we're going to talk about today, but feel free to interrupt me at any time. Please interrupt me. Oh, Lydia, your microphone doesn't work. Okay. Well, you can type. I see you typing. There she is. Thank you. She's dressed.
Kind of, sorta.
That's okay.
At least I've washed my ass. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Clean butts are a good thing.
Yes. Today is Tuesday, right?
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, lady.
Hi. Look, I'm talking to myself and Sharonda.
Yeah, I will do video in a little while.
You guys are so funny.
Nikki, you're late to the party, but I just said, yeah, I'll put my video on just as soon as I get dressed.
Hi, Jody.
Hey,
Yep,
Jody.
that's where I'm at.
Well, since I have a bunch of you here and it's 11:01 by my clock, I have a list of stuff that I kind of was thinking about sharing with you guys. But if there's anything specific, digital marketing is, for me, like the social media aspect. And so basically what I was going to go over is anything that I currently use that is benefiting my business, things that I'm doing, apps that I'm using, stuff like that. So if you guys have any specific questions about social media, like spit them out and I'll write them down.
Do I have time to go get a Coke before you start talking?
Cricket? Yeah, sure. Go get a Coke. Hi, Shauna.
Hey, Shawana.
All right, you guys, like, I'm just going to put it out there. Teaching classes makes me so nervous, and this is only the second class I've ever taught. And one of my 2020 goals, I see Shauna smirking at me. One of my 2020 goals is to be more comfortable teaching and getting up in front of people, which is kind of ironic because social media, like, I'm fine now getting in front of the camera on stories. I used to dread it, wouldn't do it, not gonna show my face, but now, like, if I was a 1 before, like, I would say I'm a 5 now. So I wanna get that way with teaching, and I know that there were leaders before me that truly, truly inspired me and taught me things that propelled my business. So, like, I wanna be that person to help other people coming into the business. So that's my story. For any of you who don't know me, my name is Stefanie. I am an individual agent. I was an assistant for many, many, many years. I've been in real estate since I was about 20 years old, on the back end of things. So I just went out on my own about 2.5 years ago. So I was asked to teach about digital marketing. Apparently someone thinks I know what I'm doing on social media, which is kind of funny to me, but here we are. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is stories. Does everybody know what stories are on social media? Do you watch them?
Yeah. No, I don't watch them.
Do you participate? You don't make them then if you don't watch them, right? Everyone's shaking their head. Okay, so stories is where it's at right now. And in the last 3 to 4 months, I have really, really, really amped up stories, participating in them, posting about my day. I mean, you're always doing something that you can share with people. And I know a lot of you watch HGTV and probably like watching it, especially us that are in the real estate industry. So there's always something to share. I'm looking at my notes if you see me look over here. So if you think about stories, they're kind of like your reality TV show. If you were making your own reality TV show, your actual Instagram feed, you want to think of as your highlight reel, your pretty pictures that have been retouched and are beautiful. You're going to get people to follow you that you don't know from your main Instagram feed and by using hashtags so people can find you. If I'm all over the place, please just interrupt me because I'm still really nervous. So I consider stories my reality TV show. I try to post many times throughout the day. I've noticed that helps a lot. And one thing you want to do to make your life easier if you're using both Instagram and Facebook is to hook them together. If you go into your settings, there is an option where I always use Instagram to post my stories and it automatically feeds it into Facebook, which the funny thing is I get way more views on my stories in Facebook than I do in Instagram, but I make them all in Instagram. Other things you can do in your stories would be to tag. Anything you can add, don't just make a picture and send it to your stories. You want to think about what you can put on your stories to get it out to more people. And one of those ways is tagging your location. Even if you're just tagging Fayetteville, North Carolina. Our office just, somehow it didn't have one before, but our office now has a location. You can tag yourself. It's like you're checking in. So tag yourself at the office. Tag people. If I'm at the office and I'm saying hello to Sharonda, I'm tagging her on my story. Like anybody you're talking about, tag them. And then they might share it on their story and we'll get other people to follow you that way. Yes, ma'am.
Stephanie?
Yes. Am I talking
On the stories, can you create the stories and post them later, or are your stories like technically live?
No, they're not live. So if you wanted to record them and take them later, I would go on your camera and take a video, and then you can upload it later as a video. You can upload a video that's already been taken.
So are you tagging, so are you making your stories more about real estate, or even
That's
just
what I'm going to get into later. That's a little ways down on stories.
Oh, okay.
So yes,
Okay.
That's okay. So usually when I take them, I am live. I don't usually take them on my camera. The only thing that I do, let's say I'm showing buyers a house. I don't want to be like, oh my God, like taking a video of myself in front of the buyers because that would make them think I'm weird. So I'll nonchalantly take a couple videos without any sound and upload them when I get to the car. Just because you don't want the buyer to feel like you're, trying to do social media while you're showing them the house. So I take pictures and videos when I'm showing houses. And then when I get to my car, I'll upload those, tag my location. I always put bedrooms, bathrooms, and price on at least one of them. Because think about it, if you're engaging people and agents from Texas, don't you guys think it's interesting to see houses and how much they cost in other areas of the world? I think that's cool. So that's, things that I would think are cool, that's what I try to add to my stories. Nikki, did you have a question? I see your name on my screen, unmuted. Maybe not, okay. Tag people and tag companies. So I'll get into later about how often you want to post about real estate, but I always tag companies. Like if I take a picture of myself drinking a Gatorade, I'm tagging Gatorade. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're sending a package, tag the company of what you're putting in it. If you can tag companies in your stories and get them to reshare you, that's so cool. And you could potentially get more followers that way. Just think of who you can tag and how else you can reach out to other people. One of my rules now that I've been following, yes, Rhonda.
Like, damn it, what do you want?
No, please.
Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my God, my old lady brain, I lost it that fast. When you were talking about tagging the companies.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
think
It'll
of it,
come
that's
back.
okay.
I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, sorry for cussing.
I didn't even notice. A lot of you know that I also have another side hustle. I sell Scentsy. So anytime I like get a package from Scentsy, I'm posting that and tagging Scentsy. That's another example. It came to you.
I just remembered.
Okay.
Are you doing more stories than actual posts, or are you balancing them out?
So I'm posting stories all day long. Like that's, in my opinion, if you just post 1 or 2 stories a day, that's not efficient. Do you know what I mean? Like people, I want a long reel and it stays on there for 24 hours and then it's gone. That's another thing I want to go over is highlights. Hold on, let me write that down. So when you post a story, it's gone after 24 hours, okay? So it's not permanent. A way you can make it permanent is you can create highlights. So if you go on Instagram, underneath the bio, there's little circles and you can highlight your stories and then they'll stay in your highlights. Does that make sense? So then if people just love you so much that they've already looked at all your stuff, they can go through all, like anything you've highlighted, it's basically all your old stories. Does that make sense? So those are highlights. Otherwise, stories are only on there for 24 hours. That's what I was gonna say. One of my rules for myself as I'm growing my Instagram and social media is I want to show my face once a day, at least. I always want to show my face once a day because they like to see your behind the scenes, but they want to see your face and learn. You're building trust, essentially. Because what's that saying, Shauna? They don't something till they trust you. What's that? I know you know what I'm saying.
They don't know you. What is? They don't trust you till they know that you care.
Yes, that's it. So they want to know you as a person. They want to know you behind the scenes. So for me, I'm not trying to spam people to death. I never want people to feel like I am a deletable spam email. Do you know what I mean? Like I want them to know that I am selling real estate and I'm very busy doing it. But I don't want them to always feel like I'm trying to sell to them. That's always my biggest goal, is to make people not feel spammed. I'm never going to be the girl that ends a conversation with, do you know anyone looking to buy, sell real estate? I don't like being spammy like that. I feel like that's spammy for me. So that goes to my next point that me and Sharonda, that I had talked to you about, Sharonda. Do not only post about real estate, and don't only post stock photos. Take stuff yourself. You know what I mean? If you're showing a house, take a picture yourself. Don't download it off the internet and post it. You want to include your life behind the scenes. What do you like to do for fun outside of real estate? Are you a mom? Do you have kids? Like, what are your hobbies? For me, I love my garden, and anyone who watches my stories knows that. I love shopping. And I show things all the time that come in the mail, my Amazon addiction. I'm showing all that stuff just to kind of break up the monotony of all I am is real estate. I also like funny memes, quotes. So I always try and break things up, especially if I'm doing a video of myself talking. I'll like put a meme in between if I go into another part where I'm talking. Does that make sense? Questions? I know I'm babbling. Sorry.
If you go to a showing and you take pictures and everything and videos, do you ask the seller's permission?
I do not.
Okay.
Because all that stuff's already public on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
so they'd be able to see it anyway.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. One thing that Dina Watson taught me when I was on her team was the rule of 1/3. 1/3 of what you post should be real estate related. So you need to include happy quotes, memes, yourself, life. Only 1/3 of what you post should be real estate related. Make sense? Okay, next topic. Ask questions, whether it be on your Facebook feed, Instagram stories, anything. I want you guys asking questions because people love to talk about themselves. You will learn that very quickly. If you ask questions like, do you like this or that? Everyone has an opinion about everything and they want to share it with you. I can't tell you how many DMs I get every single day of people responding to things that I've posted because everyone has an opinion about everything. In Instagram, you can do questions, you can do polls, and you can do where you ask them a question and they can just type it out in a box. I love, love, love doing polls where you give them one or the other answer. A lot of times, even just asking them, do you like this, yes or no, is fun because you get so many people who have opinions and love seeing things related to real estate and home decor and stuff like that. I always like to put music in mine where there's no audio. That's just me. I like putting in songs that have to do with what I'm showing in the story. Like anytime I post a new listing for sale, I'll put like that song, you know that song, My House? I can't remember who sings it. Anyway, this is so weird. I feel like I'm talking to myself.
My house or our house? In the middle of the street.
No,
Welcome to my house.
I love you.
That song,
Thank you,
my
Brian.
Flow Rider.
That's
My
it.
Flow Rider.
I love that song. And then the Sam Hunt one I always post too.
Steph, question.
Kelly.
So how are you linking your music with your videos? Is it like that?
You
maybe
can do in Instagram if you open up. Do you know where you? Hold on, let me show you. In Instagram, when you go to make a story, at the top where the little smiley face is, at the very, very top, see where the smiley face is?
Yeah.
So you click on that, and all those options for what I was just talking about
Nice.
is there. And if you click on the one that says music, you can put music in your story.
Fantastic. Awesome.
And that's also where you're going to put any GIFs, like any animated little cartoons you see me post. That's where you can do that. You can put, let's see what else you can put since I have it open. You can do hashtags within your stories. You can, that's where you mention people as well. Hold on.
Yeah, that's another question I have as far as like hashtags and stuff. Like some people's hashtagging.
So I have a trick for you guys.
Legit. And I'm like,
yeah, I'll show you how to do those. That's one of my, what?
Like, yeah. Cool.
Algorithms. Do you guys know anything about algorithms? Tell me what you know about algorithms and what that is and what it means and how to get around.
Algorithms are the language that computers speak that tells them what to do.
Exactly. So social media has algorithms, and the way I like to think of it is like a point system. And the more points you have, the more you're going to be seen. So when you post something on Facebook, not all your friends are going to see it. So there are ways to combat the algorithms because ultimately the goal is to be seen. You want people to see your stories, to see your posts, and algorithms are the way you do that. So number one, you have to participate in social media. So not just posting things. So let's say Shauna posts something and I comment on it, right? Shauna's gonna start seeing my stuff because the algorithm says me and Shauna are friends and like each other and we're corresponding with each other. So by me liking, commenting, and sharing her stuff, she's gonna see my stuff more. People who are instant messaging you, that's part of the algorithm as well. So if you're creating content that is making people message you, the algorithm sees that and they're gonna show your stuff to them more and show your stuff to more people as a whole. Does that make sense? So in order to combat the algorithm, you have to also participate in social media, not just post. So for me, I literally time block 30 to 40 minutes a day where I'm just sitting scrolling, commenting, liking, sharing stuff that I see that I like, stuff like that, because ultimately we're trying to combat the algorithm and be seen. Questions about algorithms? Please.
So I know when I was just starting to learn things, one of the things you told me is to go ahead and put emojis and stuff in my post. Does that change the algorithms and all that good stuff?
It doesn't change the algorithms, but it's aesthetically pleasing to people to break up the monotony of like text and words. So like for me, I like when I'm posting a listing to include emojis. It just looks prettier. But it doesn't necessarily do anything to the algorithm that I know of. Another way that I have learned to combat the algorithm is to respond to people. So if someone comments on your stuff, comment back. If someone sends you a message, message them back. Don't just ignore it. I mean, even if you can just heart it if they message you. So you need to answer always back. I'm always the last person to say something in any conversation online. And like I said, spend a certain time of day. I usually like to do it first thing in the morning when I'm drinking my coffee, and then at the end of the day, you know, just corresponding with people on social media to try and combat that algorithm and be seen more. Good. Anybody else have any questions about algorithms? I see Jackie. Jackie, your face is like on my screen. Because you're the last person to talk. Okay. Apps.
Don't look too much. I just got back on a bike ride with the kids, so
You're like my
sorry
right now. All right, apps. Some apps.
So somebody else talk fast.
I talk so fast. I'm so bad. Okay, Kelly had mentioned hashtags. So write this down, okay? You need to download this app. It's called #expert. That is how I get all of my hashtags. So when you download the app, there's a couple different options. So basically, I go on Instagram and I post a picture and I think of one hashtag and I type that hashtag into #expert. And then it generates a whole million slew of other hashtags that might be associated with that one. And you can either go in and pick the whole bunch, Kelly, you can pick the bunch that you just want to copy and paste, or you can go in and hand pick each one, which is what I do because, so let's say I just want to search mompreneur is what I search a lot. I'll search mompreneur, and you can only put 30 hashtags on an Instagram post, only 30. And it'll tell you how many you've picked at the bottom on #expert. So I'll go in and I'll search mompreneur, and then I'll pick, I don't know, 14 or 15 ones. I'll hand pick each one, and then I'll go in and I'll delete mompreneur and I'll put in something else so I can kind of like vary so it's not all like business stuff. And then I always save like 3 or 4 slots where I'll put in like Fort Bragg, Rayford, North Carolina, stuff to make it more local. So, and people will find you that way. And that is how you find people who don't know you to follow you, is by your hashtag. #expert. Yep. It's amazing. That app is life-changing. Yes, Sharonda.
You said about 30 hashtags. I kind of get turned off when there's like a slew of hashtags after a post. Do you find that too many, like, do you have a rule of thumb for how many you?
So I always do 30, but the cool thing about #expert is when you copy and paste them and then you paste them into your post, it makes little like hyphens and it goes down to where you'd have to hit show more to see them.
Oh, okay.
So people scrolling aren't going to see 80,000 hashtags on your post unless they click show more.
Okay.
So I usually always try to get as close to 30.
Exactly is the point of doing all the hashtags.
Say that again.
What exactly is the point of doing all the hashtags?
So let's say you want to go on Instagram and find more people like you that you don't know. You can search the hashtag realtor, #North Carolina realtor, and it'll show you posts of people who have used that hashtag. and then you can go in and follow.
Okay.
Same with stories. You can go in and if you I think stories, they say you can do 3, but I'm pretty sure you can only do 1. I could be totally wrong on that. But on stories, you can search stories too with hashtags, and that's how people find you. So hashtags are like where it's at. I don't like to post on Instagram with my 30 hashtags and have it feed over to Facebook. I don't know why. I just don't like all the hashtags over on Facebook, even though supposedly they work the same, but I just don't like it aesthetically. Okay, next app that I use all the time is called PhotoGrid. That is where you can take a bunch of different pictures and it will make a collage for you. And it's free. It's amazing too. So if you have like a bunch of pictures that you want on one single picture, you can put all of them in PhotoGrid and decide how you want it to look and then download that as a picture where they're all on one picture. So I use that one a lot. PhotoGrid. And then my next favorite one, I only have 3. So if you guys have questions on like what apps I use for what, just ask. Like I'm an open book. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. The other one I use is called Retouch. So this one's cool because you can basically take a picture of something. Let's say you took a picture of your kid standing in front of the ocean, right? And there's another person over here in the background that you want to remove. In Retouch, as long as the background's not weird, you can basically circle the person in the background and it will take them out. It's so cool. I've used it on pictures of houses when they've had like, there was one that had where they just replaced a piece of grass and they put like some weird green thing on it because it was patchy, and I took it out and it blended it and it was perfect. Yeah, so those are the 3 apps that I wrote down. Have any of you seen me post anything or do anything that you want to know how I did that?
What do you use to write over the top of all your pictures?
In Instagram?
In anything.
So
Probably Facebook, because I don't really do Instagram. So however you do it.
I use Word Swag for most of mine, which is really cool and it's free. So you can upload your picture and write on it and then save that as a picture with the words on it. In Instagram, it allows you to write on the pictures in stories, but I use Word Swag and Canva. Word Swag is very user friendly though. I'm just trying to look on my phone to see what other apps I have on here that I can share with you guys.
So Stephanie, so Instagram, you can type on the picture. You use
In
Word.
stories. In
Huh?
stories. In stories.
Oh, in stories. Okay.
Yeah. You can use stories to type on the picture, but if you want to put a picture in your main feed, I would use Word Swag if I wanted to write on it. And I also use Word Swag, like if I see a quote that I really, really like, I'll create it on my own so that I can put my handle on the picture. Do you know what I mean? So that when people share that, when they share mine, my name is on it. Does that make sense? I love quotes. I'm a quote girl. And then the last thing on my list that I have, this may be controversial, kind of funny that it is. I will never, ever, ever post anything negative, controversial. It is not a good look. We are in the public. Do not participate in that stuff. It is never a good thing and it just makes you look bad. If you want to argue with someone on Facebook, you're not going to change their mind. I am so hell-bent on this topic. It is not good for your business. If people are arguing online, don't participate. If people are posting about politics, I am so hardcore about this topic. Like, it's not good for your business to post about negative things, controversial things, and politics. What you think, I just feel like it shouldn't be out there on social media. That's just my opinion.
I have to piggyback. I agree with you on that. And, a lot of people have lost their jobs behind their political views or showing their true colors. So I agree with you on that. We are just there to be happy and sell real estate.
Right.
All that other.
And like for me, I mean, I don't ever want to give people the impression that like my life is always sunshine and rainbows, but if I can spread 95% positivity out there, I mean, yesterday my whole garden fell in the center. It was bad, and I was like really angry about it. So I was like, ah, look what just happened. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of negativity I do on social media. I don't believe social media is the place for negativity. So that was my last like major huge point. So does anybody have any questions? Like, I'm here to help you guys, like whatever you want to know. I'm sad I can only see two faces.
I have a question. When you are following people or people are following you, when do you know the time to add people to your database? Who do you choose to add to your database?
I mean, if I'm working with them as a client is when I put them in my database. I mean, I like going back to being spammy. I don't like want to meet you. Like you, let's say you see my stories and you message me. I'm not going to be like, hey, what's your phone number? What's your email address? I don't do that. But like, if someone reaches out to me and wants to start working with me, I might ask them for like contact information so that I can text them instead of messaging them. And that's a good way to get people's numbers too. If you're messaging them on social media, be like, hey, sometimes my phone doesn't ding with Messenger. Let me get your actual phone number so we can text each other in real life. That's what I say.
Now, how much business have you pulled through your social media? Like, have you actually captured, buyers and sellers?
Yes. And I have gotten referred to people because they see how active I am in real estate and they'll refer their friends to me. And like, I've even gotten business. I mean, there's one girl that I've known for like 12 years. She lived in Fayetteville, got stationed somewhere else, and then went over to Korea. And I always see her viewing my stories, but she never says anything. And then all of a sudden, one of her friends that was coming from Korea here messages me and said that she referred me. So they see you being a rock star realtor and like very active and doing things. And I mean, you're gonna get business from it. And the biggest thing you will learn and hear about is consistency. You can't just post once and expect business to jump up from it. I see your question. I'm gonna open it up in just 1 second. So the biggest thing is consistency. And that's still something that I'm focusing on and sometimes struggle with. I mean, on a Sunday when you're not doing anything, what do you post about, right? Post about that it's self-care Sunday and I'm taking a day with my kids and sitting at the pool. It's amazing. So there's always something that you can post about in stories. And there are days where I sometimes only post 3 or 4 things in stories, and I'm working on that.
So with your stories, do you find, so I'm still stuck on the IG. That's my biggest challenge. Do you care more about posting a story versus an actual post on Instagram?
So what I personally do is I try and post on stories multiple times a day, way more than on your feed. And my goal right now is posting at least once a day on my main feed. And I have noticed since I've been doing that, I've been getting way more followers. Every time I post a picture on my main feed, I get a handful of followers.
And that's so this is like a follow-up. So do you find I don't know if you have a business page on Facebook. I think mine is basically worthless. That more people seem to interact with you personally through, of course, your personal page. Yeah. So are you feeding your business page on Facebook, or are you just more focused on your personal page?
That's a really good topic that we can talk about. So business pages, I'm sort of in agreement with you as far as that. I do use my business page for boosting posts because that's the only place you can literally give Facebook money and do a sponsored ad for like your listings coming up. Excuse me. So I do use it for that, but I will tell you, I do not post on my business page, but I have had people, you need one out there because I have had people message my business page because either they weren't friends with me on Facebook or their friend referred me and they just searched for me. So I've literally had probably 2 clients in the last 6 months that messaged me on my business page and I got business from it. So I would say it's good in that extent to have it and to use it to like post your listings and stuff. And I know you can do stories on your business page too, but that's too much for me. I got too much going on to try and add that to the mix.
So then obviously then your connection on IG stories go to your personal Facebook page stories.
It does. Yep, that's what it feeds into. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
What exactly are IG stories? I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's Instagram stories. So when I post all my stories that you don't watch, Jackie Pearson, love you. So when I post all my stories on Instagram, I have it set to automatically feed over to my Facebook stories. So they're all exactly the same. The other thing I will tell you that many of you may not notice is you'll never see my kids where the public can see them. I only post where, it took a lot of work in the beginning, and I know it sounds like a lot, but I'll tell you what I do. So probably 2, 3, 4 years ago, I went through my friends list and I said, who do I not want to see pictures of my kids? Who do I not know well enough that should have access to see pictures of my children? So any of those people that I would mark them as an acquaintance on my friends list. So anything I post on Facebook, I will mark it where everyone can see it or only my friends that are not acquaintances can see it. Does that make sense? I'm very, very particular about that. So, I mean, obviously you guys know on social media, as real estate agents, we get a lot of friend requests, and you see friend requests come in where we have 130 friends in common. And you're like, I have no idea who this person is, but I want to be friends with you because I want you to see my listings. So I accept their friend request and I mark them as an acquaintance. That way they don't have access to my super personal life, if that makes sense. My kids, my family stuff that, you know, I want to post my kids doing karate, but I don't want Jim Bob, who I've never met before, I don't know, I'm weird about that. Anyway, so that's what I do.
Not weird. And I need to do the same because I get hesitant, you know, of posting my granddaughters. You know, we had a situation actually here in Fayetteville a couple of years ago. I don't know if you know, but so yes, I need to do the
It's
same.
very time consuming up front, but as long as you do it, like even like I do an album every season, like winter 2020, I do, you know, and I only have people are only who are not my acquaintances are not allowed to see that. I mark it where that entire album, the not acquaintances are not allowed to see it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So basically anytime I add pictures of the kids, the family, stuff like that, I add it to that album. So, and then if I post quotes, if I post where I'm sharing that there's a new Chick-fil-A coming, anything like that, where I don't give a crap who sees it, it's public. So anybody who's even not my friend can see it.
Okay, so quick question here. That's to do that, that's under the privacy settings, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And each person, hold on, I'll tell you. Oh look, someone just sent me a friend request. I wish I could share my screen with you. Christine Worth. She must be in here.
Yep, that's me.
So if you go into, I'm going to make you an acquaintance just because I don't know that I've ever met you. As soon as I meet you, tell me. Okay? So I'm going to go into Christine's Facebook page. I'm going to click the 3 little dots. Hold on, I'll show you. Go back. Can you guys see the 3 little dots next to the blue button?
Yep.
So I'm going to push that. And then at the very top of the list, it says friends. And then I'm going to edit friends lists, and I'm going to make her an acquaintance.
That's
And
really cool.
if you look, whenever you post a picture or anything, you can edit the privacy settings for who sees that stuff. So that's what I do. There was a question in the chat box. I apologize. Hold on. How did you let people know you were an active agent when you were first starting out? So that's a very good question, Lydia. I like to make everything an announcement, like anything that can get people excited. I mean, there's always something in life worth celebrating. Like stuff like that. Big, huge announcements always get the most likes and the most comments on Facebook for me. I mean, when you cap, when you go out on your own as an agent, well, I can remember when I first went out as an agent, I had left the mortgage industry and decided to go out on my own. And I can remember the post. It was a welcome mat with 2 little feet on it. And I made the announcement that I was taking the plunge and I was going to be a real estate agent. So I like to make announcements. That's like my favorite thing to do. Like your life is, I'm going to go cheesy on you. Jackie, I need to look at your face while I say this stuff. So your life is exciting and you need to share it with people. People want to know exciting things. They want to see positive things. I'm so, like, my heart is so in that. I love making people happy. That's like my soul. So like social media is like, you can put that out there for the world and the world likes to see those things. So I mean, anything you can say to make an announcement, your kid did something, you did something exciting. I mean, there's always exciting things to share, and people like that. There's my cheesy commentary for the day.
That's not cheesy. That is true, because I happen to, whenever I get the most response with my grandkids or my kids, that's when I'll have like 100 likes.
Exactly.
No one else is interested in me or anything else, but post those grandbabies or, my kids and what they're doing.
And you can find your niche, like niche. You find that and you realize you can, I don't want to use the word capitalize on it, but like you see on social media what gets the most response. And I mean, just do more of that. That's what I do anyway. I don't consider myself a social media professional, but I mean, something's working.
I'm horrible at social media, and I know every December I have people who have told me and text me and called me and said, hey, I'm watching your Elf, because I always do Elf on the Shelf stuff. Whether people love it or hate it, they're on the lookout for it. Between that and my kids, and that's what people actually care. And I'm not good at social media at all, but I've noticed that's when people are always liking it. And then I put in some of my real estate things, I get calls, oh, you're killing it on this. And I barely have posted anything about it.
Yep. Does anybody else have any comments or input, feedback? Like what's your guys' social media take? Like what's your goals with social media? What do you want to do better at?
Well, I found that when COVID hit, I kind of like disengaged. I mean, like I literally had people call me, Sharonda, where are you? Are you okay? And I just needed a break because, you didn't really feel all that happy-go-lucky. So for me now, it's just to get back into it, because I've also realized by not being engaged, my nemesis in some of our groups has taken some of my referrals. But I think that just proved that when you stay engaged, even if you're not there, you'll still get referrals. It's just staying in the game, showing your face to have new people know who you are for new business. And I think that's okay too, to post like, hey, I kind of been, and that's what I'm saying, I've kind of been out of the loop, just readjusting to COVID life, the new norm, whatever that may be. But my struggle with Instagram was like, I didn't want to just post listings all the time, but I found that like through my travels, I have a lot of response. I was building some followers, and that kind of went dry too because I wasn't being engaged with it.
Yeah.
But I think you gave just enough nuggets for me that I can take once I start getting back into social media to do. I love that you gave 3 free apps to use and talking about the stories. And it wasn't, the class wasn't long. You held my attention. I think you did a great job, and I got good information from it. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your feedback. I hope everybody got some nuggets. Who's next? Somebody's talking.
Just me. I think I'm in the same boat as Sharonda. I kind of disengaged from social media for a long time, and now that I'm coming back, I'm like, what did I miss? But I think for me, struggling with the consistency of it all, like going up there and actually posting, 3, 4, 5 times a day, actually sitting down and doing it. It's not a lot of work to do it, but it's just, being reminded to do it is the difficult part. So I plan on using Command and their built-in tools to go ahead and just schedule everything automatically. So I do it once in the beginning of the day and set it, forget it.
And that's one thing I haven't utilized is Command for posting, Facebook posts.
I'm not sure if they have an Instagram or a Twitter's feed. I don't do the Twitters.
I don't Twitter either. Cool. Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming, and I hope you all took away some nuggets, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Hug, hug, hugs. You did awesome. Smooches, smooches. Jackie, darling, smooches, smooches. Jody, smooches, smooches. Jim, I don't know you. No smooches for you.
Bye, guys.
Y'all have a great one now.
Bye, thanks, Steph.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Good job.
Bye.
Bye, guys.